Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation Today update channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Forresters questioned their decision to not let Eric go after he'd crossed over while in recovery. To stave off infection, Finn and Bridget decided to remove Eric's ventilator and Eric plotted to breathe on his own. Ridge and Zende argued about finishing Eric's collection. At the sanitarium, Finn and Bridget spoke with Steffy, Brooke, and Ridge about Eric. Finn asked them to be glad that Eric had made it through the surgery, but Ridge rasped that Eric had flatlined in recovery. Ridge asked what had gone on to make it be. A flashback played of Bridget and Finn trying to save Eric toward the end of his surgery. Finn said Eric had crashed after he had gone into recovery. Bridget added that Eric had been gone, but he would come back. Ridge was worried that it had happened, that he would allowed it to be. Finn stated that Eric's condition was critical. Ridge yelled that Eric had tubes and cables coming out of him. Brooke prompted Ridge to believe Eric would pull through. Brooke got a communication from Donna, who'd left to get some clothes so she could stay at the sanitarium with Eric. Bridget remarked that Katie was on the way. Brooke suggested that Ridge, who'd been over all night, get some sleep. Ridge said he would do it if Eric woke up. Ridge was worried that Eric was hooked up to machines because of Ridge. Steffy said it would be worth it if Eric returned to them. Finn got that Ridge was worried because he had not gone on with Eric's wishes. Still, Finn reminded Ridge that Eric had not known all the variables, Ventilator, that treatment was available. Finn stated that Eric had a chance. Ridge combated that Eric could also die with a tube coming out of him. "You should just let him go peacefully," Ridge said. Ridge uttered that he should have let Eric go. Brooke stated that death was not the only possibility, and the treatment could give Eric a shot at getting his life back. Brooke asked how Ridge could refuse it. Steffy agreed, saying Eric's wishes might have changed if he would known about the treatment. Finn said he would wanted to present the treatment to Eric, but Finn felt as if he would been too late. Bridget did not want Finn to feel shamefaced and said if Eric survived, it would be due to Finn. Ridge asserted that it was about further than survival, it was also about quality of life. In Ridge's view, if Eric did not have the quality of life he wanted, also he wouldn't want to be there. Ridge added that Finn had not been suitable to guarantee anything. Finn said there were no guarantees in his line of work. Bridget asked Ridge to forgive her for wanting her father to stick around. Bridget was thankful for the decision Ridge had made and said she'd have made it, too. Brooke asked Ridge to stop being hard on himself. Ridge stated that Eric had passed over, perhaps he was at peace there, Ridge reasoned. Ridge said they'd done a treatment to pull Eric back by without knowing if it would indeed work. Ridge felt that Eric was a man trapped within his body for the rest of his days because of Ridge. In the Croker's rest area, Finn changed and talked to his woman about her forefather. Steffy said Finn had brought them hope. She could not believe he had been working for weeks to find a way to save her forefather. Finn wished he would figured it out sooner and he hoped he would done enough to give Eric back to the family, healthy and whole. Finn entered a call that there had been no change in Eric's condition. Finn said he would been good at staying, but it was different with Eric. Steffy stated that Finn had been working down to save Eric. She said she could not thank Finn enough, but it was out of Finn's hands. In the design office, Luna and R.J. were together, agitating Eric's condition. R.J. said they'd nearly lost Eric, and Eric might not rebound from that. Luna said the bright side was that Finn had started the procedure that could bring Eric back to them. Zende arrived and heated at the door as R.J. was saying he loved Luna's positivity. She stated that she had enough for them both. R.J. asked if Luna had alternate studies about the former night. She did not but asked if he had. He replied that he didn't, and he would say it again. "I love you," he told her, and she replied in kind. They kissed. Zende cleared his throat, and R.J. ate Zende into the office. Zende remarked that he had just been at the sanitarium and Eric was still critical. Zende had not wanted to intrude Donna's time with Eric and had left. R.J. felt sorry for Donna, who'd just gotten Eric back. Latterly, Zende was amped about Ridge's immediate decision to take Eric off life support. R.J. yelled that Ridge had not wanted any of it and had wanted to do right by Eric. R.J. asked why it was so hard for Zende to understand that Eric had not wanted heroics or to be hooked up to machines. Zende asked if R.J. could have pulled the draw on Eric. R.J. said it was about Eric trusting Ridge to make the right decision for Eric. Ultimately, lucky for us, Zende fooled. Luna reminded the guys that their forefather had wanted them to be kind to each other. Zende said he was just trying to figure out how Ridge would be so cold and inhuman. R.J. took exception to the characterization, saying Ridge had been making the hardest decision of his life and had not wanted Eric to suffer. Zende said none of them did, but to end it like that? To take him off the machines? To take down Granddad's only chance of recovery? Said Ridge had agreed to the treatment, but if he'd taken Eric off the machines, Ridge would have been recognizing his father and his father's wishes. Luna reminded the men that they should be supporting each other. R.J. refused to allow judgments about Ridge to go unchallenged. Zende said he would keep his opinions to himself. Zende expressed solicitude about Eric, and so did R.J. Luna reminded them to stay positive and picture Eric strong and vital as he'd been when he would worked on his collection. Zende abominated to suppose of the collection as untreated and said it should be out there in the world as Eric's last masterpiece. R.J. entered a textbook communication and looked upset. Left, and Zende asked Luna what had gotten her into fashion. She said her Mama's magazines had shown her cultures she could only dream of. Luna had tutored herself about the different contrivers, but Forrester Creations had spoken to her the most. She was still in admiration of her history in helping Eric and said his treatment had to work. Zende replied that they'd keep transferring Eric love and light. Zende was amazed by how Luna watched about Eric. Luna did not know how one could know Eric and not watch. Zende stated that Eric was always beating himself. He picked up a sketch and said it was exquisite, indeed untreated. Luna said Eric had been sketching right until the party. Zende pledged to do what it took to finish Eric's collection. In Eric's office, Ridge told Brooke that he would just had to be there for a moment. He wondered if Eric would return as a different person. Ridge remarked that Eric had spent his stylish times in that office. Brooke told Ridge that when Eric returned, he would be happy about his alternate chance. Arrived, saying he would gotten Ridge's textbook. Brooke left for the sanitarium. Ridge said that the workers were bothered about Eric, but Ridge suspected that they were upset about commodity differently. Ridge said that the company meant everything to Eric, and in Eric's absence, Ridge had to keep it going. He wanted R.J. by his side. Ridge figured that if Eric's collection was his swan song, also it should be heard. Ridge wanted to finish the collection for Eric, but Ridge did not know Eric's vision. Stating that R.J. did know it, Ridge asked if R.J. would finish it with Ridge. R.J. was rapturous about the idea, and the men hugged. Ridge said they'd make Eric proud. Back at the sanitarium, Brooke sat with Eric. She stroked his face and his arms, and she cried.